In today's video, we're going to be using the Steam Deck to play Tears of the Kingdom with the early access Yuzu emulator. Let's jump into it. I've been playing on the Steam Deck for the past few weeks, and I wanted to just give a brief overview of what my experience has been like. So that's what this video is going to be. The two best emulators right now to run Switch games are UHS-I and Yuzu. And so far, Yuzu has been leading the way with the best performance, especially when it comes down to being ran on the Steam Deck or any handheld PC for that matter. Before you get too excited, it is not running perfectly, but I would say it is running very playably. Even when it drops down to mid-20s, that is not the end of the world. Most films are shot at 24 frames a second. So just think about that. What becomes an issue is when there are lags and stutters and things like that. And Yuzu's team is pushing out updates almost on a daily basis. It is wild. If you just join their Discord, there's a bunch of information and resources and updates getting pushed out and a lot of information there. But back to this idea where people keep complaining because they see the FPS dropping into the 20s. On the Steam Deck, you're still going to get stutters and lagging, especially when you enter new areas and you're still loading all the cache. That's just kind of inevitable and it's always going to kind of slow it down. But the more you play the game, the more it loads those in and the better the performance is going to be. I recently upgraded and got the Yuzu Patreon paid early access version. And to be honest, it's great because I'm getting all the new features right away, but I didn't notice a major difference from the free version to this paid version. Again, that could vary. There might be an update that gets pushed out and it's gonna be dramatically better. But then what happens is the Yuzu team just launches that in the free version later. All I'm getting is just what it's called, early access. So that's fun right now with a game like Tears of the Kingdom. Everything's brand new. The team is just pushing and getting out all these updates and enhancing the performance and all the glitches. And as that's happening live, almost on a daily basis, I'm having access to that. It more comes down to, do you want to support the team and their efforts, or are you just gonna casually do this a little bit, try it out, and it's not that big of a deal? When you get into places like a shrine, you can easily be playing at 45 frames per second. Another thing to mention, I'm not using any third-party apps to enhance the performance of my Steam Deck. A lot of people are using cryo utilities and these other apps that they install, and then they start tweaking all the innards of the Steam Deck, overclocking stuff. I haven't done any of that, and I have not seen any proof of major increases in performance. I'm sure they're squeezing out 1 FPS here, maybe 2 at best, but out of the dozens of videos of watching people and what kind of performance they're getting with all these tweakings, the stability of the Steam Deck and gameplay dramatically decreases, where people are overheating, the game is crashing, getting to the point where they can squeeze every single little amount of performance out of their Steam Deck just for a tiny bit of performance enhancement, but then a huge amount of problems on the other side. For me personally, doesn't look very appealing, especially when I'm getting such good performance already, and doesn't look much worse, if at all worse, than what other people are getting with all these other things, tweaking it. If somebody has seen a video where somebody has set up with cryo utilities and these other apps, and there is a dramatic, almost perfect 30 frames per second run-throughs, that would be super interesting, and I would be super down to try to match what they're doing. But I have not seen that at all. So everything that you're seeing, all the posts that I've done, this is just a stock Steam Deck. Nothing has changed, and the game is running fairly well. And I only anticipate that it's going to get better and better. The Steam Deck continuously seems to impress everybody with its ability to perform really well with its limitations and its affordability. I thought for sure something like the Aokizoe A1 was going to perform much better, but it actually seems to perform worse than the Steam Deck. That could be that I haven't spent as much time trying to tweak it and get it to work perfectly like I have on the Steam Deck, but I have tweaked and messed around quite a bit, and I cannot get it to get to the performance even that of the Steam Deck, yet alone better than it. Which you would think something that has more power should be able to do it better, but that's not always the case. That's my brief overview of playing Tears of the Kingdom on a Steam Deck using the Yuzu Early Access emulator. Thanks, guys.